Hi friends, I'm stopping here on the bike trail in the middle of a bike ride to tell you about a little spot right here. Several years ago I was on a bike ride at exactly this spot, and I happened to pass a family who was kneeling beside the trail right here. A Latino family, a mother, a father, a child, a grandchild, and they were tending to this little garden right here. This spot is a little garden that this family has kept for about 7 years to honor the memory of their son who was killed here on Garland Road in a traffic accident. Friends, today we begin our stewardship campaign at the Woods, and it's also All Saints Sunday. And so we thought that what we would do is to share a few memories of some of the saints of the Woods. Some of the people who were members of Trailwood and Inglewood who made the Woods Church who it is today, what it is today. Take a look and watch these interviews with members today remembering the saints of the Woods.
Bill West was a bear of a man. Everybody said he looked like, or Wilford Brimley looked like him. He looked like Wilford Brimley, kind of the big mustache, the barrel chest. Bill was one of the most amazing singers you will ever hear. God gifted him with an incredible voice, and he used it for God's glory, for sure.
First of all, he was a character. He was unique in his spirit. He was a prayer warrior. He had strength of character, and I looked up to him. I looked to him kind of like a grandfather, actually.
The song "The Holy City" was what I consider to be his song. I mean, he could sing it like nobody else could sing it, and you knew that he was being given that voice from God when he sang that song.
He's still with it. His spirit is still within these walls.
He was the kind of guy that if anything needed to be fixed at the church, whether it was the Inglewood Church or here, he would either do it or get it done, and he'd get it done pretty quick. The kind of guy that would give you the shirt off his back.
He would like to pray with the pastor each Sunday before the services started, and he would grab whoever was close by to come in and help him and together say prayer for the pastor.
The table that's back by the staircase that has the cross and has a towel for every charter member of the Woods, he helped build that table, I believe, with Charles Lamb. And those are very tangible reminders of Earl. And those of us who knew him definitely remember him.
The way I would describe Polly is someone who had a quiet elegance. She was not a type A personality, but she was always there to lend a hand whenever needed.
Well, after my mom passed, I told her getting a hug from her on Sunday morning was like a hug from my mom. She was just the salt of the earth.
And she and her husband, Carthel, one of our buildings was even named after her husband. And she and Wanda and Dean Matheson and a couple of others came up to me. And before I had even joined the church, he said, "Can you sing? We need you in the choir."
My most favorite part was she was real active in our Mary Martha UMW at Trailwood. And the stories she'd tell of growing up, riding the buckboard to church. And so she had a real love for music. And what I remember most that it kind of broke my heart. But after her husband died, she quit the choir because she said she no longer had a song in her heart. And but she gave me a song in my heart, so it's kind of like you carry that forward. You know, I don't want anybody else to not feel they have a song in their heart.
The best way to describe her is a childlike exuberance. She was joyful and always ready to get into whatever was available.
I would go to her. She didn't live too far from me. I would go to her, stop by her house, happy, sad, terrified, whatever. I knew that I had somebody to hold me. And I knew she loved me.
As far as what she did around the church, she did a little bit of everything, but she loved the children. Being kind of childlike like she was, she just fit in just wonderfully, and they loved her.
Thinking of her being like a child, the awe and the wonder, it's so easy to lose that as an adult. There are so many horrible things going on all around you that sometimes you forget about the awe and the wonder that's in the everyday. And she taught me that it's there. All you have to do is look.
We hope you enjoyed hearing about some of the saints of the Woods. And now I wanted to just talk to you a brief minute about some of the goals for our stewardship campaign this year. We really have 3 goals. The first is to increase participation, to get broad participation in our pledge campaign, to end up this year with more pledges than we had last year. The second goal would be that for anyone who can prayerfully increase a pledge that they made last year, that they would consider doing that. And then the third goal, of course, is year after year to move us toward a pledged base budget. What this means is that we would eventually, over time, build our pledging base so that the pledge income, the income we anticipate we will get from pledges, matches what we need to operate the church. It's important to remind you, of course, that a pledge is a statement of intention. It's not a bill or a tax. It's your saying, this is what I intend or hope or pray that I can pay to support the church this year. It's always understood that those intentions can change based on your family's personal situation. So that's why we're emphasizing all 3 of those goals. Broad participation, those who can pledge more to pledge more, and to year on year uplift the idea of pledging so that we move to a pledged-based budget. Nobody gets to where they are alone or by themselves. We all stand on the shoulders of those who have come before us. Each of us have saints in our personal life and in our church here who have made us who we are and made this church what it is. So we give thanks for the church on this first Sunday of our stewardship campaign. And we remember the beautiful words of the hymn that inspired our theme for this year, What Gift Can We Bring? There's a beautiful verse in that hymn that goes just like this. Give thanks for the past, for those who had vision, who planted and watered so dreams could come true. We give thanks for the saints of the Woods who made us who we are today. And we pledge to be the saints for the future church, that God may continue to do beautiful things here.